Her name is Katarina Volkov. She lives in Tel Aviv, appears to work at a tech company, but her real identity shakes the world. She is Vladimir Putin's secret daughter and has been Mossad's most valuable agent for the past 10 years. How did this double life begin? Good evening. The story I'm about to tell you tonight is not just a family drama. This is one of the biggest espionage operations seen since the Cold War, because at the center of this story is the daughter of one of the world's most powerful men. And that daughter works for her father's greatest enemy. Katarina Volkov, 34 years old, a successful woman working in the tech sector in Tel Aviv. Her friends know her as a Russian immigrant. But her real identity is shocking. She is Vladimir Putin's secret daughter, born in 1989. And for the past 10 years, she has been Mossad's most valuable agent. This story begins in 1988 in Leningrad. Back then, young KGB agent Vladimir Putin had a secret relationship that no one knew about. The child born from this relationship has now become her father's greatest nightmare. In 1988, the Soviet Union was in the process of collapse. In Leningrad, young KGB agent Vladimir Putin was dealing not only with political turmoil, but also with a personal situation. Because he had a secret relationship that no one knew about. At that time, 35-year-old Putin had a secret affair with another woman alongside his official wife Lyudmila. This woman was Marina Volkov, a talented musician who taught piano at the Leningrad Conservatory. Marina was unlike any woman Putin had encountered. She was intellectual, had an artistic soul, and was interested in Western culture. Putin had to keep her secret because this relationship could end his career due to his position in the KGB and his married status. In 1989, Marina became pregnant. This was a major crisis for Putin. Finally, he made a difficult decision. He would keep Marina and the unborn child secret. Katarina was born on March 15, 1989, but this birth was not recorded in any official records. Putin's plan was simple. After Katarina grew up, he would reveal the truth to her and make her one of Russia's secret assets for the future. But the plan changed in ways he never expected. In 1994, when Katarina was only 5 years old, a tragic event occurred. Her mother, Marina, fell into depression after not hearing from Putin for a long time and committed suicide. Katarina found her dead at home. When Putin received this news, he was shocked, but also experienced great panic, because now Katarina's existence could be exposed. At that time, Putin was struggling for power in Russia, and such a scandal could finish him. He made a difficult decision. He would place Katarina in a state orphanage but keep her true identity secret. Katarina would now be an orphan child without father or mother. Katarina had very difficult days at the orphanage. Losing her mother at age 5, then being left alone in a place she didn't know at all, completely changed her. She had now become an introverted, angry, distrustful child. Putin wanted to visit her, but couldn't. He could only monitor from afar. He ensured she was well cared for by bribing the orphanage director, but this wasn't enough. The rest of Katarina's childhood was traumatic. She didn't know who her father was, and most importantly, she was accumulating great anger against the Russian state. In 2000, Putin became the president of Russia. One of his first tasks was to find his lost daughter. But what he found was very different from what he expected. 11-year-old Katarina was now a completely different person. The 6 years she spent at the orphanage had made her hard, cold, and distrustful. Putin made a very careful plan. He would take Katarina from the orphanage but wouldn't tell her the truth immediately. The story told to Katarina was this. Uncle Vladimir had become a very wealthy businessman and wanted to adopt her. Katarina initially resisted, but was so tired of orphanage life that she accepted. Putin placed Katarina in a private house in Moscow. She would receive the best education, but would also be kept under very tight security. Katarina's new life seemed luxurious, but was actually a golden cage. In 2005, when Katarina turned 16, Putin decided to reveal the truth to her. That day, Putin invited Katarina for a special dinner. On the table were her father's photos and her mother's letters. Putin, very emotionally, told her the truth. "Katarina, I am your father." Katarina's first reaction was shock, then anger, then deep hatred, because she suddenly realized that the person responsible for all the pain she had experienced for 16 years was the man sitting across from her. The person who abandoned her, drove her mother to death, and let her suffer in an orphanage for 6 years was her own father. "Why?" asked Katarina. Putin tried to explain. "To protect you." But Katarina didn't believe it. "To protect me? You left me motherless? To protect me? You left me to rot in an orphanage?" That night, Katarina went to her room and made a decision she would never forget. She would take revenge on Putin. But she would do it cleverly. First, she would gain his trust, then strike him from within. From the next day, Katarina began behaving differently. She became kinder and more affectionate toward Putin. She started calling him father. Putin was very happy because he thought his daughter had forgiven him. But actually, Katarina had started her revenge plan. In 2007, Katarina started university, Moscow State University, International Relations Department. But Katarina's real purpose wasn't education, but preparing an escape plan. She was very successful at university. She was talented in language learning. She could speak Russian, English, German, French, and Hebrew. This last language was especially important because Katarina had already chosen her target, Israel. The reason for choosing Israel was strategic. This was one of Russia's greatest enemies. Mossad was one of the world's most effective intelligence organizations. And most importantly, here she could be completely free from Putin. In 2010, when she graduated, Katarina made a shocking proposal to Putin. She wanted to go abroad for graduate studies. Putin initially resisted, but Katarina insisted. "Father, I must learn the world for Russia's future," she said. In 2011, Katarina went to Europe for education with Putin's permission. The plan was, first she would improve her English in London for 6 months, then do an economics master's in Germany. But Katarina's real target was different. She stayed in London for only 2 months. During this time, she prepared fake identity documents, took the name Katarina Volkov, and completely changed her past. She had now become a Jewish-origin technology expert who emigrated from Ukraine. In August 2011, she went to Israel. She had told Putin she was going for just a short vacation, but actually, she would never return. When she landed at Tel Aviv airport, she stepped into her new life. When Putin saw that Katarina hadn't returned after 2 months, he panicked. All of Russia's intelligence power was searching for his daughter, but couldn't find her. Because Katarina was now living a different life with a different identity. At the beginning of 2012, Katarina made a very careful plan. She started working in the technology sector in Tel Aviv. She got a job as a junior analyst at a cybersecurity company. She was very talented and rose quickly. Katarina began accidentally detecting Russian cyber attacks at the company she worked for. She was deciphering Russia's hacker operations against Israel and reporting them to company management. These reports naturally reached Mossad. After 6 months, Mossad got involved. They began investigating who Katarina Volkov was. The findings were very interesting. A woman who came from Ukraine, was very talented in technology, and had deep knowledge about Russia. At the end of 2012, first contact was made. Mossad agent David Cohen approached Katarina. Initially, it was a cybersecurity consultancy offer. Katarina immediately accepted this offer, because this was the opportunity she had been waiting for. 2013 to 2015. The trust-building process. From 2013 onwards, Katarina began doing small jobs for Mossad. She was analyzing cyber threats from Russia and providing information about Russian intelligence operations. She was very successful, and Mossad found her very valuable. But Katarina hadn't revealed her biggest asset yet. Mossad saw her as a talented Russian expert, not knowing she was Putin's daughter. Because Katarina was very patient. During this time, Katarina lived a double life. During the day, she worked at a normal tech company, and in the evenings, she participated in operations for Mossad. No one knew her real identity. In 2015, Katarina participated in a major operation. She deciphered Russia's military plans in Syria and gave this information to Mossad. Thanks to this operation, Israel learned about Russian attacks in advance and took precautions. In 2016, Katarina decided the right time had come. She had earned Mossad's trust and proven she was a valuable agent. Now it was time to reveal her biggest asset. She requested a private meeting with Mossad director Yossi Cohen. Only the two of them were in the meeting. Katarina very calmly said these words. "Director, there's something I need to tell you. I am Vladimir Putin's daughter." Yossi Cohen initially thought it was a joke. Then he was shocked. "Can you prove this?" he asked. Katarina was prepared. Childhood photos, DNA test results, conversation recordings with Putin. She had brought everything. After the evidence was examined, Mossad was shocked. They had the world's most valuable agent, Putin's own daughter. This was one of the biggest intelligence coups seen since the Cold War. Yossi Cohen was very careful. Only a few top-level people would know this information. Because if Katarina's identity was exposed, Putin could have her killed. After the 2016 confession, Katarina's status completely changed. She was now Mossad's most secret, most valuable agent. She was given a special code name, Red Princess. Katarina's mission was to rebuild her relationship with her father and get critical information from him. In 2017, she sent Putin an apology letter. In her letter, she wrote that she had made a youthful mistake and missed her father. Putin was very happy. Katarina didn't return, but began regular communication with Putin. Video calls, phone conversations, emails. Putin was very happy with this communication with his daughter and began to trust her. After Putin began to trust her completely, he started giving her secret information. Russia's foreign policy plans, military operation details, even nuclear weapons topics. He shared everything with his daughter. The information Katarina provided included Russia's secret military plans in Syria, nuclear agreements with Iran, Putin's personal health status and weaknesses, power struggles in the Kremlin. Thanks to this information, Israel gained a great advantage over Russia. It knew Putin's every move in advance. In 2022, Putin decided to invade Ukraine. But before making this decision, he talked with his daughter at length. He told Katarina the details of the operation, its timing, and even which cities would be targeted. Katarina was shocked. Putin was really going to start a war, and this war would cause the deaths of thousands of innocent people. She immediately relayed the information she got from Putin to Mossad. Mossad shared this information with the US and NATO. The Ukraine attack was known in advance and preparations were made. This allowed Ukraine to respond more prepared to the Russian attack. But this operation was very risky for Katarina, because if the information leak was revealed, Putin would have her as his only suspect. In 2023, Putin began to suspect intelligence leaks in the Ukraine war. The FSB began investigating his entire inner circle, and eventually, they reached Katarina. The evidence the FSB found was shocking. Katarina lived in Israel, worked for Mossad, and gave the information she got from her father to the enemy. Everything was revealed. When Putin learned this truth, he went mad. Learning that his own daughter had been deceiving him for 10 years and giving his most secret information to the enemy tore him apart. He experienced dual trauma, both as a father and as a head of state. When Katarina's identity was exposed, she was no longer in Tel Aviv. Mossad had moved her to a safe place because it was clear that Putin would do everything to take revenge. Today, no one knows where Katarina lives. Some say she's in America, others say she's hiding in Australia. Mossad protects her very well because she's still a valuable agent. Putin, on the other hand, could never forget his daughter's betrayal. Being deceived by the closest person to him for 10 years completely destroyed his sense of trust. He no longer trusts anyone, even suspects his own children. Katarina's story is not just a family drama. This is one of the biggest operations in the modern espionage world. A daughter's revenge on her father affected world politics. The most ironic part is this: Putin saw his daughter as Russia's future ambassador. But Katarina really did affect Russia's future, just not in the way her father planned. The end of this story hasn't been written yet. Katarina is still alive, Putin is still in power. And this hateful relationship between them could cause bigger events in the future. Because sometimes your greatest enemy can be the person you love most. And sometimes the greatest betrayal comes from those closest to you.